Welcome back to my channel. Today is an exciting one because, as you all know, I'm in my final year of university, and I thought it would be really interesting to reflect on my last 3 years here. And yeah, I just wanted to give you a comprehensive look at my experience studying sociology, specifically at Bath. This video is going to be longer than usual, so make sure to refer to the timestamps below if you want to skip ahead to a certain part. But first of all, let's get into my overall experience and my overall thoughts on sociology at Bath. It's gone way too fast. I finally understand what people mean when they say university goes really quickly. Bath is small and friendly, although it is quite white. But anywhere outside of major cities will be quite, not as ethnically diverse, especially if you come from London, like I did. In terms of assessment, sociology at the University of Bath is majority writing assessments, so like coursework or written exams. But since uni at the moment is online, a lot of this is now coursework, and in my final year I actually had no exams. As I mentioned in reasons why you should and shouldn't do sociology, it depends whether you prefer exams or coursework, and how much that weighs on your decision to study a certain subject. Overall, I really enjoyed the course and I don't regret taking sociology at all. So now I'm going to go through all the years that I was in Bath, first year, second year and third year, go through the modules that I did and also chat generally about how I found that year, and my favourite modules and least favourite modules. So let's get into it. So in year one, there are a lot more compulsory modules than second and third year, and that's because in year one, not everyone going into university has done sociology as an A-level. If you have, then great, but if you haven't, don't worry, because first year is all about getting everyone up to speed and to a similar level, which is why everyone has to do certain core modules in first year. So these are the modules that I had to take in first year. In Bath, we actually call them units, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to call them modules. The compulsory modules are marked with an asterisk. So we did social problems and social policy, welfare in the state, classical sociological theory, and understanding sociology written in a global context. These were all compulsory modules, but in terms of my optional modules, I took social policy new and also introduction to social analysis of development. And in year one and year two, quantitative and qualitative methods are both compulsory, because these form the foundation of not only your dissertation but also research projects in year one and year two. Something that I didn't actually put on the slide is that I studied Italian for a year as well. And something that I really like about Bath is the breadth of the optional modules that you can take. And you can literally take units from other departments, which is why I took Italian, because I thought it would be interesting. It's a new language. I hadn't done languages since GCSEs actually. So it was quite interesting, but it actually opened up the opportunity for me to go to Italy as an au pair for 10 days. Stay with the family, immerse myself in culture, which was really exciting. And in terms of my favorite and least favorite modules in year one, I generally don't really enjoy policy. So that's why I would rank all the policy modules at the bottom of my list. I don't know, I just don't find it that interesting, and it's a lot of dates and a lot of policy. I don't know, I have my skepticisms about working in government and things, so that's why policy wasn't that interesting to me. Obviously, change needs to happen at a lot of different levels, but I just don't think that is for me. My favorite modules were actually the theory modules. I am a theory gal. I love my theory. I just think it's really interesting. So understanding society and also classical sociological theory was really interesting to me. The quantitative methods in year one were actually okay. Like, it was pretty easy. It was a nice ease into doing maths again, since I hadn't done that since GCSE. But don't worry, you will be fine if you didn't do maths or any science. But if you did do those subjects, it will be a good advantage for you in year two. And a society that I really enjoyed in first year was dance soc. I only really attended the dance fitness class because it was a good way to exercise. I went with my friends and it was a good way to keep accountable but also get some exercise in. So I'm off to dance fitness now, because when you're at university you tend to stay stuck at your desk, even more so now that we have to stay at home more. these are the modules that I did for year two. Year two was definitely very, very enjoyable. It was the first time that I was able to take a lot more modules that I wanted to do, drop some that I didn't want. So in order, as you can see on the screen, I did quantitative and qualitative methods. These were compulsory, along with philosophy of the social sciences and contemporary sociological theory. But other than those two, all of the other modules that you can see on the screen were optional, which is again why I love the course at Bath so much, because it is very, very flexible. You can choose across departments. So I know friends that did modules in psychology, education, and also even management and business. So my optional modules were researching social change, political sociology, totalitarian politics, race and racism, manufacture of consent, and concepts of humans, monsters, and machines. And out of those ones, my favorite ones were definitely concepts of humans, monsters, and machines, manufacture of consent, and race and racism, because those are the topics that I'm personally interested in. And that is why having a lot of optional modules for me was really important, because then you're able to really tailor the course to what you personally enjoy, instead of letting the university dictate your study for you, which is why I personally really enjoyed the course at Bath. Second year was interesting because this was the year that everything changed in the world. You probably know what I'm referring to, and it was a new way of studying, being totally online, attending seminars and lectures online. So it really took a lot of self-discipline to go into these lectures on Zoom. And of course, everyone was debating the value of university now that everything could be done online, and also it was a bit of a struggle because I really wanted to do a placement. That was my original plan, to do 2 years at uni, do a placement year, and then go back for my final year. But as you can see from this video, I didn't go in placement. And actually, in hindsight, I'm very, very glad that I didn't go in placement, as I explained in that video. But now that I'm a year on from that almost, I can say that, yeah, it was the right decision to return to uni, because I'm so done with education. I'm so excited to just leave and graduate. So I do think going on placement is a huge advantage, and Bath places huge emphasis on going on placement. So if you're able to secure a placement, definitely go. But if not, it's not the end of the world. You can also get experience other ways. Now on to final year. These are the modules that I took. They are all totally optional, except for the dissertation, which everyone has to do. I will probably do an entirely separate video on my dissertation, just because it's a huge topic, although I will, briefly say some points about that. So the modules that I took were crime and media, art and politics, conflict, security and international development, gender, sexuality, science and technology, ideas about terrorism, and the sociology of death. Now you can probably start to see a common theme of the topics that I took and the things that I'm generally interested in. It's more sociological, I would say, and less research, less development-based, or less policy-based. And I can say that I enjoyed most of these modules, actually. The one that I enjoyed the most definitely was the sociology of death, because A, I like the lecturer a lot, but also B, it made me think a lot about mortality and death and life, as it would. And it might sound really morbid, but actually it was really, really eye-opening to think about these topics. So in terms of my dissertation, I am almost there. At the time of recording, I have just under a month left until I submit. I'm actually planning to vlog the last week of doing the dissertation and submitting it, along with my final thoughts. So definitely look out for that video if it hasn't been published already. Another thing that is unique to final year per se is graduation anxiety. A lot of people go through this, and this is something that I addressed in this video. And everyone goes through it. We are human, we have worries, we have anxieties, and uncertainty kind of freaks us out. And I just want to say it's normal. I definitely had that phase in final year. It sometimes comes back, and you kind of question what you're here to do. What is your purpose, right? The $1 million question. And so I just want to say, you'll get through it. Obviously this isn't great advice whilst you're in that crisis mode, but in hindsight, just know that you'll be okay. Something that really helped me was to put a box on my worries. So I'm going to allow myself to worry for 10 minutes, but afterwards I'm going to do something about it, or do something else that I can control. But anyway, that was a comprehensive view of my 3 years studying sociology. I really, really enjoyed the course. Now reflecting on it, it really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I'm really excited for what the future brings. I want to be a living example that a sociology graduate can be successful in life. Actually, scrap that. I am already successful. Although, what does success even mean, right? It depends on how you define it. But yeah, all the resources that I mentioned will be linked below. Also, the unit catalog with all the most up-to-date unit information will be linked in the description below as well. And definitely check out all my other videos about studying sociology at the University of Bath if you are interested. As always, don't forget to comment below if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer any of them. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!